am Sarah. I run this channel and I am a NICU nurse, a newborn nurse, and a lactation consultant, and I am here to help you make those first few weeks of motherhood just a little bit easier. And today we're going to talk about something I get asked quite a bit, and that is, how do I know if my baby's getting enough to eat if I'm exclusively breastfeeding? So we're gonna dive into that. And as always, if you have any concerns at all, please call your pediatrician. That is the first step, and let's dive into it. So if you are constantly concerned about how do I know my baby's getting enough milk in those first few weeks, you are not alone, especially in those first 24 to 72 hours where your milk hasn't come in yet. And here are some things I want to tell you that may ease your mind, and also warning signs if baby isn't getting enough. It makes sense that you're worried, because if you do have a friend or family member who has formula fed or pump and fed, then you know that they can see exactly what their baby is getting each feeding, and you can't compare to that. So keep that in mind, that each feeding will be different, just like you and I at every meal eat a different amount. Same with the baby. Babies aren't always going to take the exact same thing, so don't panic if they had a large feeding and then they kind of scale back the next one. That's completely normal. The great news is babies usually give us pretty clear signs if they are getting enough milk or not, and we're gonna also talk about that. First and foremost, let's talk about diapers. So of course those first 3 days are gonna look a little different. You're going to want one diaper on day one pee, one poop. That's the first 24 hours. You're gonna want 2 pees and 2 poops on the second day of life. Again, 3 on day 3, 3 pees and 3 poops. And then at day 4, you're gonna kind of turn up the heat. Most babies by day 2 to 3 are pooping and peeing a lot more than that, but if they aren't, it's nothing to be concerned about. Remember too, if they pee or poop at delivery, that does count as well as their first pee or poop diaper. So by day 4 to 5, your milk has usually come in. So we're expecting to see at least 6 wet diapers a day. Again, that may be way more for your baby, and that's okay. Now let's talk about poop diapers in those first few days and weeks, because this matters a lot. Your baby's poop is gonna start out as what's called meconium. It's like super tarry, almost like a slime. You can like pick it up. It's really hard to, it's gonna transition, so don't panic. But by day 3, if you're breastfeeding, it's gonna kind of turn a mustardy color, very liquidy looking, with little seeds in it. That is normal. Seeds, mustard looking, liquidy. But day 1, we're looking at meconium. Day 2, meconium. Day 3, we'll probably start seeing what's called transitional stools. And once your milk picks up, this is the diaper I expect to see. That yellow poop in there is a really, really great indicator to me that your milk has come in and it is doing what it's supposed to do for baby. So first and foremost, in those first 72 hours, I want you to remember your baby's belly is a little bit bigger than my pinky fingernail. So even though all you're giving baby is drops, that's okay. But those drops down quickly and they digest them quickly, which is great, because the more baby sucks, the better your milk comes in. Once your milk is in, at the beginning of the feed, you're going to notice baby sucking pretty vigorously and quite a lot until you have a letdown. Most women feel their letdown, quite a bit that do not, and that is completely normal too. As letdown, you'll notice baby's long sucks and a little bit deeper of a suck too, which is a great sign to me. You may see a pause. Remember, these guys are very new to the world. So with a baby in a bottle, it's continuously sucking, almost like a pacifier. Breastfeeding is very different. So they control how much they get and how much they need. And so it's not going to be a continual suck. If baby falls asleep, that's okay. You are so comforting to them, and them just being there, you may notice in 5 minutes, they perk up, wake up, and continue their feed. That is okay. This is called active sucking and swallowing. And lots of times once your milk comes in, you can hear them do this. Another big sign is how your baby acts after you breastfeed. Now, we're talking about those first 2 weeks, and what I want to tell you is they're growing so fast, we can barely fathom what's going on in their little bodies. So they may sleep for 3 hours, but the next feed they only sleep for an hour. That doesn't mean that you didn't give them enough food. It just means that they're going through a little growth spurt and they need more. I want you to aim for 8 to 10 feedings per 24 hours. That is what I care about. If it is less than that, we need to talk. More than that, even better. I also call this the noodle arm. So how do I know my newborn is done feeding? Here is my one tip. Because again, they're gonna look real relaxed real quickly when they latch on. So if you can pick up their arm and it's still kind of tight, we're not done. Even if they look super asleep, I promise they're not done. However, if you can pick up their arm and it's just like a noodle and flops back down, you're done. So this is where a lot of parents get frustrated when they pick up that arm and they're not done yet and they think they're done. So they'll put them in their bed, but 10 minutes later they're up and crying. Mom starts to think she's not doing enough, but in reality, babies just aren't timely creatures at this point. So a feeding may take a good 30 minutes and that's okay. Let's talk about weight gain. This is a huge one, and here's my disclaimer to at-home scales. If that eases your mind, that is fine. But think of yourself. When you go to the doctor, when you weigh yourself at a friend's house and your home scale, they're all gonna read completely different. So do not panic if you baby at home and then you go somewhere else and the weight has fluctuated. That's normal. It will be normal for us and it's normal for them. What I want you to be concerned about is the weight at your pediatrician's office over time. You to track that, and that is what we're concerned about. By day 10 to 2 weeks of life, babies probably gain their birth weight back. That has some other factors we can talk about later, but most likely they've gained their birth weight back. Breastfed babies gain weight a little bit differently than formula-fed babies, and that's okay. So roly chunky babies, if you have one, that's amazing. And if you don't, as long as their weight gain is consistent over time, that's great. And your pediatrician's going to track this and look at their weight and their measurements over time and be able to analyze whether baby is pulling milk well or not. And you may notice is changes in your breast. So after a feed, breasts start off hard, and this is again after your milk has come in, and they're softer after a feed. Baby has pulled milk off. That's a wonderful sign. Still may be uncomfortable in those first few days as you transition into your milk coming in, but it's a great sign that they are softer in general. Now, this makes parents panic. And again, I want you to remember 8 to 10 feedings. That's what I want you to remember. I don't care how long those feedings are or what pattern they do them. I just want 8 to 10 in a 24-hour period. Parents have been told that babies on a schedule are good babies. Babies this little don't know that. All they know is what their body is telling them to do. So if you lay your newborn down and in an hour and a half they want to eat again, that's okay. Like their body is signaling them to. A baby that sleeps for an hour and a half to 3 hours is completely normal in those first few weeks, whether we like it or not. It can last for a while. This is extremely normal. And I'm sure you've also heard about cluster feeding, which is essentially just bringing that milk stimulation in by sucking. They do that by wanting to feed constantly. Again, those first few days and weeks, they're growing so fast. They do cluster feed quite frequently, and it is exhausting. Okay, so let's talk about some myths. This might drive me wild. If baby's eating for a long time in those first few days, they have a job, they're also exhausted, they're teeny tiny, and they're doing their job. Babies get the job done really quick, and some drag it out because you're also really soothing to them too. Your breast milk is made specifically for your baby. So that breast milk is digested so quickly with your baby because it's giving them just what they need. It's not giving them any extra, which is a great thing. So for comfort, for connection and hunger, and reminding yourself of that is also really crucial. Now, again, a trusted pediatrician will always be one of my first pieces of advice I ever give any of my patients. So you are going to call your pediatrician if you notice your baby's wet diapers completely go away, or by day 5 or 6, you're only seeing 2 or 3. That is not normal. I want you to call your pediatrician. Their urine changes colors to an orange or a red. Call your pediatrician. If baby still has meconium stools or a lime green stool after day 3 to 4, call your pediatrician. You will not wake up for a feed, for multiple feeds in a row, call your pediatrician. Not gaining weight over time, your pediatrician always, and hopefully they will have known this by tracking their weight as well. I want to say this very, very, very clearly. Every breastfed baby is so different in those first few days and weeks. And just because your friend's baby did X, Y, and Z and yours isn't, does not mean anything is wrong necessarily. Babies have personalities, and this is the first way they get to show them to us. Keep that in mind. Your baby was designed to do this, and so are you, but it doesn't mean that we don't need help. It can be really, really difficult. They're going to learn to walk one day, but they're not just going to stand up and do it. Same thing with breastfeeding. They're going to know what to do in the general sense, but we may have to guide them and help them. It's same with us too. So again, pediatrician, lactation consultant, phone numbers on deck. Finally, give yourself so much grace. Breastfeeding is really hard. It's really hard at the beginning, but it does get easier. You are tired. Your body just went through so much. Their baby body just went through so much, so much grace is needed. Not supposed to have this all figured out as soon as you give birth. It is maybe 1 in 5 women that latch baby on perfectly and never need me again as a lactation consultant. Most have questions or needs or feel some sort of pain that we need to fix, and that's okay. The fact that you're even asking, that your concern, is showing me that you are a great mom. If you ever need anything, always call your pediatrician or lactation consultant. Have those numbers on deck. Make sure you trust them. Make sure you can call them at any time. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel for more baby content in those first few days and weeks. I truly enjoy helping you learn more.